welcome you to Auto Electrical and Electronics, where we give knowledge about your vehicle. Today we are going to discuss on the mass airflow sensor from the beginning to the end. Its function on vehicle, location on vehicle, how it works, and how to diagnose it. So bear with me throughout this long course and subscribe for more info. What is mass airflow sensor? A mass airflow sensor, MAF, is a device used in internal combustion engines to measure the amount of air entering the engine. Its function is to provide the engine control unit, ECU, with information about the air mass entering the engine, which is then used to determine the appropriate amount of fuel to inject for proper combustion. It also helps to reduce emissions and improve fuel economy by providing the ECU with the information it needs to adjust the fuel injection and ignition timing accordingly. The location of mass airflow sensor. The MAF sensor is typically located in the intake manifold or air intake duct between the air filter and the engine. So after the mass airflow sensor, that tube goes to the engine, must not leak air for correct measurements. So today we have mainly two types of mass airflow sensor, which are hot wire mass airflow sensor and vane mass airflow sensor. Hot wire mass airflow sensor. This type uses a thin wire heated by an electric current. As air flows over the wire, it cools down. The sensor measures the change in temperature and the amount of current needed to maintain the wire's temperature. The amount of cooling correlates directly to the mass of air flowing past, allowing the sensor to calculate airflow. Vane MAF sensor. This type uses a mechanical flap, or vane, that opens in response to airflow. The position of the flap is proportional to the amount of air entering the engine. A potentiometer or other sensor measures the position of the flap, translating it into a signal that indicates airflow. How mass airflow sensor wired? Modern mass airflow sensor have 5 wire. 3 wires are for the mass airflow sensor, and the other 2 wires are for the air intake temperature sensor. But today, we are going to discuss on the mass airflow sensor only. Mass airflow sensor has the 5 volts reference wire, ground, and the signal wire. So the signal output of the sensor sends an electrical signal to the engine control unit, ECU. This signal is usually a voltage that varies based on the amount of air detected, and the ground wire provides ground to the sensor. Then the 5 volts reference wire powers up the mass airflow through providing 5 volts reference.